They got some exquisite corpses, bro. What the fuck is this?
Exquisite. Create a surrealist character connected by the top of the drawings.
Damn, they got so many new
I
additions.
think we gotta warm up to that one. I don't know about all that.
Yeah, let's do classic for warm up.
What is this? Settings. Whatever. Oh, who's echoing my hearing, bro?
My fault, gang.
Bro, I don't even know what to type.
Yeah, me neither,
Bro, just
bro. Hold on, hold on. I wasn't ready,
let
bro.
your creative flow.
How explicit are we getting right now?
Explicit, bro. It's
You have like
early.
20 seconds less than that.
Huh?
You're like 3 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Y'all better remember that I can't draw.
Yeah, bro. That's fine. I don't even know where my fucking shit is right now.
Yeah, it's not working.
It's not working in terms of what?
Huh? Nah, no, don't worry, don't worry. I'm trying to figure something out.
Oh, bro, I started using the eraser by accident. That's not the correct thing.
The fill tool is actually low key useful, but just don't fuck it up.
Yeah, I need to recalibrate after this drawing. Are we allowing words or no?
No words.
What about
No words.
What about names?
No names.
That's a word.
All right.
I forgot they have tools like squares and shit.
Yeah, they got.
Was that
squares.
always a thing?
I think so. Yeah.
No.
Fuck. I did not look at the time just until now, bro. Yeah, sure, why not, bro?
Can I write like stuff if it's like correlated to the thing?
No writing, bro.
No text, I guess. Bro, who's?
Oh my gosh, this is so bad.
Okay, hold on. I need to.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, y'all better hate me.
No,
Yeah,
I
better
love you,
hate
bro. I
me.
love you, bro.
I don't like, yo, we should not play Gartic for
Peace,
no
love, and
more,
positivity.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, this is, I restarted like 4 times, bro. And the
It's
last
all good.
one
It's
was
all good.
finished.
That's the fun of it.
Oh my gosh. What the fuck is this?
Okay, I see the vision. It was a great drawing. Whoever did this.
Yeah, that's a good drawing, actually. I can't lie. Somebody was definitely cooking
This
with
is,
with the shape tool and the
this
fill
is not a
fill
good
tool. I wonder who it
drawing.
was.
This is not a good drawing, bro.
It wasn't me, guys. It wasn't.
Okay. See, this one seems easier to
What?
draw than the last one. What are you confused about?
Okay, I don't know.
Ooh, this is a good one. Whoever did this, I'm really trying to bring my artistic skills out with this.
Bro, so autistic.
Never mind, bro. This fuck is taking too long. I gotta lock in.
That was fucking quick, bro. Yeah, I'm fucking forgetting the main part of this drawing. I'm getting too caught up in the details.
That was in the details, bro.
Yeah, the devil's in this fucking whoever wrote this prompt, bro. Nah. I'm a sick man for drawing what I just drew.
What the fuck?
This is definitely
One of the drawings of all time.
yeah.
I hope so.
Purple 18.
Purple 18. Huh?
Purple 18, bro.
Are you picking colors? The fuck? I didn't even know you could do that.
Just trying to remember what color he used, like, bro. I don't understand. Oh shit. That means now. Fuck.
4. Oh.
Fuck it. It is what it. Oh shit! I forgot the titties.
Oh fuck! I can't do that.
Huh?
I feel like I'm good with the prompts.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like
I could describe the pictures really well, but I cannot draw them for the life of me. Like I can
Somebody's
vividly
gonna.
like.
Nah, I don't even know what the fuck is happening, bro.
Whoever did this is really good though. I give it to you. Are y'all just using mouse and key? I'm using like my key, like touchpad.
Your trackpad?
oh, I thought someone was right after me, bro.
My first drawing was on mouse and keyboard, and then I switched to my tablet.
Oh
See,
fuck! I
that's
should do
not
that too,
fair.
Loki.
Bro, I don't have a pen, bro. If I have a touch pen, I would do that too.
Alright, everybody locked in. Do we need the voiceover mode or nah?
Nah, no voiceover, bro. We're good.
Alright.
Actually,
Damn.
That's crazy.
Alright, Amit's getting pegged by Hulk.
Oh, that's good.
That's
That's
good.
not bad.
Yeah. Let's say it's hard to tell with Amit without the words, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
I didn't have enough time, otherwise maybe I could have found something. Yeah.
It's fire.
Okay. Oh, that's a great drawing, actually.
Marge Simpson.
Marge Simpson doggy style.
That's funny. Oh, her hair isn't even blue, bro.
Christmas pornography.
Oh, Christmas.
Oh, that worked.
Actually, you
that
didn't even
worked.
spell Christmas. You typed in Churchmas.
Oh, okay. You know what? Close. That's close.
Damn, I thought that was the forest, bro.
Is that a train track?
When you're in the woods,
Bro,
make
did
the
we only
cameraman
get
of a
3
boner.
prompts in?
Huh?
I think we only got 3 prompts.
Yeah. I didn't change the settings probably. LeBron shaving
Oh.
pubes.
Oh, don't even look at this.
Oh.
Oh,
What the fuck? LeBron James penis reduction. Yeah, this is a great drawing for that. Then you know, I feel like I got the shit
yo,
spot
that was
on, bro.
great. That was good.
I got the shit spot on, bro.
Oh, that's good.
That's
That's good.
fire.
LeBron James meat shrinkflation. That's definitely the one. All right, let's say walk him down, Ralph. SpongeBob
Yo, this is a
botch
crazy
booty
drawing.
injection. This is a crazy injection.
Yo.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's a really good
Oh,
one.
you could.
Yeah.
Big guy. Big guy. What the fuck?
Bro, give us a lateral
Bro.
and front.
SpongeBob with the fatty.
Imagine if you can see it from the front. Wait till you see it from the back.
Pontiac gets Nuga Guggen there. Yo, I didn't know how to draw this shit, bro.
Oh, bro, I had no idea what.
I was trying to draw
is
the Great
this?
Lakes and Michigan and shit. Brody and Fox finding a treasure map, bro. I don't even know what that is, bro.
Yeah.
All right, this guy went way too hard with the goddamn
Robot.
with the purple 18. Doggo.
That's fucking Brody and that's Fox. And then that's X works the spot.
Oh, Fox like Darren.
Yeah, like, what
Bro,
the-
nobody's doing that.
Yeah,
I
nobody knows
thought, I
what you're
thought,
talking about, bro.
bro, I
Oh,
thought you
by
like
Brody like
Westbrook and
Westbrook.
Fox. Westbrook and Fox, bro. That's what I thought you. That's what I thought you said, bro. Because what other context is Brody and Fox in a sentence together?
Yeah, my fault, bro.
All right.
I thought the nuke was a fox, bro.
Understandable.
What is
Yo, are we
this?
running the same thing or are we doing like a different
We're
type?
doing sandwich.
What does that mean?
Damn.
I don't know.
Okay, okay. Okay, start a sentence.
All right. I don't know how this is about to go.
Huh?
What?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Who the fuck? Whose sick and twisted mind came up with this one? Somebody's gonna have some explaining to do, bro.
Hmm?
Yeah, it's probably you, bro.
What you talking about, bro?
Unfortunately, we'll all know soon enough what I'm talking about. And the fact that you're making me draw this, bro, you're despicable. I'm uncomfortable drawing this.
Yo, you have to, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Part of the game.
I know, bro.
No.
This is fucked, bro. Why am? Oh, alright, never mind. I'm just gonna stop talking.
Sir, you can't draw, but can I draw like?
What?
All right, I know what to do. I know what to do.
You can't draw, but you can draw. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the whole point of this game. That's why we're playing it.
Bruh.
Bruh.
What the fuck do you? Oh, there's the film. Like, where's the film? Nice. No, I need some more time.
You don't got time, bro.
I'm cooked. This is half finished.
Yeah, I give up.
I need to bet.
I'm done. I'm done drawing whatever this atrocity is, bro. This is a hate crime. Memorize the drawing. You gotta
What?
replicate it. Oh fuck.
Oh.
What the hell?
Shit.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Plot twist.
Okay, I can do this.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
It's pretty easy.
Oh, you have to press draw it. Fuck.
Oh. Okay, good point. Good point.
Bro, there's like no time.
Oh my gosh.
I had so much time to memorize it.
Yeah, same.
No. It's a shared time, bro, and you can't look back. the whole perspective.
Yo, what's up? 3 of you guys already finished, bro. Y'all just doing shit.
Oh fuck! I don't know if I remember the color correctly. That's pretty good, I think.
A lot of confidence. I like it.
Whatever, bro. Look,
What
what
the
the fuck is this?
What is this?
What the fuck is
Oh, bro.
Who is this, bro?
What? Okay.
All right. I'm just gonna draw whatever I saw.
Bro, I just forgot what I saw.
Oh shit! I did not mean to do that. Oh, I'm not locked in right now.
I know.
How do you know he's not locked in?
Trust me. I can feel it.
Whatever, dude. It's not getting any better than this.
That's rad, bro.
Gnarly.
Nardwar.
Nardwar.
that? Or
Bro, got that shit on max volume, bro.
No, who's still drawing?
Damn.
Oh,
Ooh.
what the fuck? What even is that?
Okay, not bad, not bad.
How did this take so long?
Oh, wait. Oh, it's a description now.
What? What?
I don't even. What is this?
Talk.
I only described one.
I don't even
Is
know
that
if
what you guys did?
Yeah, I don't even know if I finished typing that shit, to be honest. All right. We're gonna go. We're gonna go from the end to the beginning. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Beginning? Okay.
Robbing a bank at gunpoint.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, I know where it started from.
Okay.
Wait, why did it get significantly better?
Because that was the first one I got.
What the fuck?
Where's your second
I
cup
got
getting robbed
Surfell's
by
drawing.
Doug Ford?
Oh, second.
I got Surfell's drawing.
Yeah, so it went from a second cup to a bank real quick.
Oh no, I see the two.
Yeah,
could be
the
a dollar
two cup.
sign.
Yeah.
I get
So,
you.
so Surfell. No, who was Bamba? Bamba was after me.
Mama's
That's-
Manir.
No, that's
Me.
Ajith.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
no.
I got you. So it's in reverse order then.
Yeah, so this
So
is
we're
my
going-
so this is my prompt. Like at the top, where it started.
How do you draw a Doug Ford, bro?
Fat motherfucker.
I did a fat motherfucker.
That motherfucker with gray hair.
Giannis dunking.
Oh, I did not get this one. East.
East.
No way.
No
No
way.
way.
Went to East.
No way.
How the fuck do we get to East, bro?
I completely forgot
This is a
which
reverse order.
Westbrook for 3, bro. You didn't even. You taking a fucking layup, bro. What kind of angle is that?
West plus brick is beautiful.
No, but the shot he's taking is not a 3-pointer, bro.
Nah, it's outside the 3-point line.
Bro, why is the key so small?
No, I see it, bro. Yo, sir, how do you go west to east?
because I
Bro,
was
you got
too
traded or
focused on
something like
time.
halfway through.
I got her forgot.
Land Before Time or Ice Age?
Okay, that was my fault.
Not bad, not bad.
Nah. Yo, who drew the Ajith, bro?
Yeah, I don't know
You're
what I
a
got,
sick
bro.
individual, bro.
What was the problem?
Metamorphosis? Oh
Oh.
my god.
You're a sick individual.
man.
How the fuck did you want me to draw that?
What the fuck?
There's no beach there, bro.
Bro, I was too disgusted. I couldn't get to the beach part, bro.
Oh,
What
that's it.
is
Huh?
going on, bro?
Okay, no, that's fine.
What the
I described the image.
I did draw that. I did draw that though.
I don't know how this way.
What is going on?
Oh, he loves fat chicks.
Chubby Chaser.
Oh.
Yo, actually, we kind of did though.
Yeah, honestly, good enough.
It's close enough, yo.
I forgot that was. Mm.
Bro, I don't know what the shit on the left is, bro.
Yeah, me neither.
Is that Greece, bro? What country is this?
Oh,
Was Israel?
that's how the star get better than the other. They're just like, oh, truce. Wait, how's that a truce in the first place?
They're handshaking, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, my bad.
Yo, bro, why is the one guy got some fucking like spiky ass hands? One guy got 3 fingers in their
No,
right.
look at Hitler's hand where it's facing up.
I see.
Why-
I see
why
where you put the
halo?
detail in the drawing, Ajit.
Wait, why does Hitler have a halo? Like, what is that on his head?
It's supposed to be the red.
No, he's
like,
got a halo
cap
because he
that
went
they
to
have.
heaven, bro. What do you mean?
Hey, low.
All right. What game mode should we do now?
Hold on. Create a
Okay.
piece of art plane, single turn without time.
I like story. Story.
No.
Story using the previous sentence as reference. Okay.
Create a fixed background for your animations.
Oh, what the fuck? Which one is that? Animation.
It says animate background, animations with the context. Create a fixed background for your animations. What does that even mean?
I don't know. That one says it's gonna take a long ass time, Loki.
Okay. Oh, fuck that.
Story?
What story? Okay, yeah, sure. Do that.
Alright, let me see what the settings are looking like this time.
Create a narrative.
Let's do a couple turns, I guess. Alright. Alright, write a sentence, guys.
Damn. I can't think of anything though.
who's the
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
It's a story, right? Okay. Let's do.
Oh fuck. Okay, hold on. I thought I goofed for a second. Bro, how do I even draw this shit? Alright, I don't even know what the fuck to do anymore.
Bang. Bang.
Bang. Is that good, bro? You're that confident?
I'm confident.
I'm not confident, bro. Whoever gave me this prompt, bro, I don't know what you wanted this to look like, but sorry I couldn't make your fantasies come true.
Oh, that's definitely mine. What is this?
color
What I'm
choice
looking at
here?
right now. What the fuck is this? Oh, what the
The
fuck am I?
fuck is this, bro?
Mm,
What is this?
I'm so
What is this?
confused.
I don't understand. What am I looking at?
Alright, I couldn't finish typing that.
Whoa. Nigga, what?
What?
Okay.
What? The fuck, bro?
Oh no, no, no! Can't be happening right now.
What's happening, bro?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
What are you laughing at?
If all the other kids with the palm look better run.
Bruh.
I cooked.
Yo, we're about to be
I think
we're about to see the worst drawings of my life.
I'm a little proud. I'm proud.
Hmm?
Yeah.
What?
Bro, what?
Why is his uniform yellow, bro? What because his costume is yellow, bro? What the fuck? Wait, am I tripping?
Hmm?
Doc, what is this, bro?
Yeah.
Alright. We're about to see some bullshit, aren't we?
I don't know.
Alright, we got the diddler catching
Eddie
Batman.
Vedder.
That shit.
Oh, how am I
that
supposed to
shit
draw
fell
this, bro?
apart. That
How am I
shit
supposed to
fell
draw?
apart. That shit fell apart.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Catwoman telling Batman to shout.
Nah, you did a good job.
Oh, you
Guggen did a
actually
good
you're
job.
cooking. Okay, Guggen, you cooked on that one.
Yeah, there we go.
Alright, that's fire. That's fire.
That was good. That was good. I like that.
Timmy Tudor shoots
Oh.
Cosmo.
No.
Oh,
I
Yes.
completely messed that up.
Somebody cooked this whole
I
shit
did not
up,
know.
bro.
Yo, bro, I didn't know what to write for this, bro.
Magenta fast food employee shooting the Joker, bro. This is the shit you have me drawing, bro.
No, that was good. That was good.
What the fuck
Yo,
is?
isn't this like the basic version?
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's I don't know. We went from Timmy Turner to Cosmo from the KFC worker to the Joker, but it's something. The
Don't
boys
let me draw,
snowboarding
bro.
on New Year's Day. Oh,
Oh,
that's what that
snowboarding.
was.
That's snow.
January 1st. You happened to know words, bro.
No.
Surfing on the first day of the year while people watch. Damn. I got surfing on the first day of summer with people watching.
Yo, why would it be surfing? It says January 1st, bro.
It just says one, bro.
No, up there, bro. It says January
I
1st.
don't know why. I don't know, bro. I don't know. This shit's been bad.
Lapse in judgment.
Oh no.
Swimming.
I
Yeah. So
could've
how was I
gotten it.
supposed to draw this, bro?
Bro, I was like, yo, it looks like ass, but it can't be ass, so I just left it.
Nah, bro. Guggen, you knew it, bro. Yeah, this guy's fucking dead, bro.
Drowning with pussy.
I mean, it's semi-aquatic.
That's another way to say it.
Young Thug and Gunna become sex bitches in prison. Yo, Guggen, what are you writing, bro? This is
What
what
is
that
this?
was, bro? Yo, how the fuck am I supposed to know what this shit is, bro?
Yo, Zerpo, I noticed whenever it comes to you use blocks a lot, bro, and blocks in circles. All you guys are either fat or
Yo,
shooting like...
you made this same snake out of blocks and circles, bro? That's actually sick, bro.
Man, shooting at a skinny and fat guy with a snake body. That's close enough, still.
That was
Yeah, how is story mode different than like normal Gartic?
Yeah, I feel like that's regular
I have
shit.
no idea, bro.
What other games did y'all want to play? Or is it
Yeah, we
just
can
Gartic today?
Well, there's still only 5 of us. We can't do code names.
Another GeoGuessr?
Isn't Guggen just gonna smoke us the whole time?
Why?
Smoker, bro.
Why am I gonna
Do you still have
smoke?
GeoGuessr Premium, bro?
No, I don't.
Yeah, we can't even play it then.
Yeah, the only way we can play is if some guy screen shares and we all try together.
Yeah, that's... We can use Discord. We can run Discord activities, though.
Alright, we're playing knockoff.
Yeah. Wait, what am I drawing?
Anything.
Oh, I'm not even
Oh,
ready.
anything?
I'm not even
Oh.
on there. What the fuck?
Oh, he's not
Okay.
there? Then let's not with him.
All right, if we're drawing anything.
Wait,
Then-
Surface not here. Should we back out?
No, I'm
Let's
here,
back
I'm
up.
here, I'm here.
Easy.
I'm here.
Oh fuck. Okay, that changes.
That changes everything.
Yeah.
Do.
Bruh, I don't know what to draw.
Me neither, honestly.
No, I just picked a color and the story came with it. I can't lie.
Actually, my shit is easy as fuck.
Your charger. The flame. Oh fuck! I picked the wrong color, bro. Okay. Oh, whoopsie doopsie.
Oh, we got a lot of time. I'm going all out then.
Big mistake. I'm already done.
Big mistake. You're gonna have to draw whatever else someone else drew.
It's all good.
It's all good, man.
Not good though.
Oh, why did I make him sad, bro? Fuck, I'm supposed to make him happy.
Bro, if Tash is here, he'd just be smoking all of us right now with the drawings.
Facts.
Man, good thing that's not the point of the game, bro.
This was a mistake.
Which part?
Everything.
Everything foreign.
Yo, y'all ever realize that Squidward doesn't have pants on?
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
This is the main thing I'm looking at.
Freaky ass motherfucker.
Hey, run for your life. Freaky ass boy, he has 69 God. Yo, who's still drawing, bro?
Me. Oh,
Everyone, bro.
Everybody.
Everyone.
It says at the top left.
fuck. Wait, you guys are all done?
I'm done.
Oh.
No,
It's just
only
me.
one person's done.
Yeah.
I didn't make it too in depth, you know. I think it's gonna get lost in translation immediately, anyways.
Wait, for real?
I mean, it probably will. The way that you motherfuckers have been guessing.
What do you mean, you people?
Oh, mine's an easy one
I
though.
didn't say you
Like,
people. I said you motherfuckers.
let's check what this fish looks like, bro.
Jesus Christ, my eardrums.
That shit is not good, bro. What the fuck did I just do?
Yo, weren't you supposed to like make it good and shit with all the time you had?
I was like, yo, I'm gonna lock it.
I forgot we could pick our own colors, bro. I've been using the
I
ones
don't
they
even know what
provide.
game this is, bro. I have no idea what this is.
It's a
Oh,
knockoff.
we just keep drawing the same picture? I'm done.
I'm about to finish.
It's just you, bro.
Is it? Oh,
Oh, this is. Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay. I can do this.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
The time is going faster, guys. Way faster, by the way.
Okay.
oh fuck.
I'm
Oh
locked.
fuck.
I'm locked.
All right. You know what? Fuck it.
Locked.
I drew way too much, bro. I didn't realize we'd have been doing this.
Bro, I tried to tell you.
I'm not locked. Time is moving way quicker than I thought.
Yeah, shit's almost halfway
Oh,
done, bro. Shit's almost halfway done, bro. Fuck.
I think I matched it though.
Bro, I need to pick a better. Yeah, okay, there we go. We are Charlie Squirt. Oh, fuck.
Oh my gosh. No.
I might have drawn it too fast. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Fuck, no.
Oh, please wait.
Bro, please.
Please wait. Please wait.
Oh, no, I used the paintbrush. I mean, the bucket. Fuck.
Please wait.
Please clap. Please clap. No!
No!
What?
What?
What the fuck am I looking at?
What am I looking at?
My one time is halfway done.
Fuck am I
Bro.
looking at?
Hey, what do you
bro?
mean? Time's halfway done.
Bro,
What
you,
the-
the time to look at and the time to draw at the same time, bro.
Time is halfway done, bro. Time is halfway done. It's GG's, bro. It's GG's. It's GG's,
It's
bro.
GG's, bro. What the fuck am I even doing right now?
Bro.
Bro, what is this? Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh
I'm done.
shit.
I'm done.
Oh, fuck.
Bro, what is this, a penis, bro? What is this?
I hate this shit, bro.
Nah, this is the best game mode, bro. You can't even lie. The fuck is happening right now? Oh my god, time's already halfway done. Fuck.
Okay, I can't do better than that. Whatever was given to me was ass, bro.
Alright, fucking, I'll finish early, bro. Fuck you guys.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. What do
Oh,
you
fuck.
keep
Oh,
going?
back.
Keep going. I thought we done. I forgot what I looked at. I genuinely forgot.
I genuinely forgot to, bro. Don't worry. Fuck. Fuck.
I know this is Thurple's drawing, bro. There's too many boxes here, bro.
Crazy algorithm.
Bro, what the fuck was even... I just remember the color red was in the picture. I don't know where it was at all. Holy fuck. Alright, we gotta go backwards to forwards, right?
No, this is.
I need to see,
bullshit, bro.
like this.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
Alright.
Huh?
Alright.
I don't know what it is.
This is
That's what you
abstract,
just
this is
said.
abstract art, bro.
Oh, this reverse? This is reverse, right?
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
reverse.
it's
This is reverse.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's blood. Is it Bloods and Crips?
Oh.
I fucked that up.
Why was the dude orange, bro?
He's Suge Knight, bro.
He became a basketball net, bro.
He became a basketball man.
He became those gold down. He became a basketball net, bro.
This is funny.
Bro, he became fucking Shrek.
How do we go from the Bloods and Crips to fucking a star, Shrek, and like a cross, bro?
T-chart, bro.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Welcome down, Raph.
Yeah,
This is abstract. This is abstract art, bro.
What is this?
I don't know,
I
and I drew it, bro.
Huh.
What?
God, I'm still,
Oh, the
I'm
fucking-
still just as confused as you, bro.
Look
I
at this.
still don't know what it is. Oh, it's a punching bag.
No,
a bunch of
why is there a guy at the top, bro?
Why is he surfing?
I had too much time, bro. Just adding shit.
This guy's actually sabotaging the drawing, bro.
What?
Prostate exam?
This one.
I don't remember this at all. Huh?
Huh? Bro, you drew that shit.
Bro, that's Harry Potter, bro.
That's Harry Potter, bro. Why is there a stripper, bro?
It works.
Yeah, it works. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
what the
Works,
fuck?
works.
Harry
Yo,
Potter at the
Harry
strip
Potter's
club?
a MAGA.
At the very end, it went to Manga.
Bro, there was red in his head. I don't know what it was doing. I thought it was a hat, bro. Alright, welcome down, Raph.
Oh no, this was pretty good.
That says a lot about where this started, bro.
Bro, so why are they eating on a penis?
I don't know. That's whatever was drawn for me was exactly that.
Is this a birthday party on a dick, bro? What am I looking at?
Bro, this is great. This is great.
This is actually... Nah, this is the best. Why is Surf House always like the one that always makes it through, bro?
Oh, this is beautiful.
What is this, bro? Is that the whole drawing? Oh, what the
I
hell?
fucked up.
Oh, this
I
is where
fucked
we went
up.
from fucking Bikini Bottom, bro.
I fucked up. I went to draw Patrick and I accidentally filled.
Sir, how'd you fuck it up that
How'd you fuck it up so bad? It turned into the fucking, like, transgender flag, bro.
Bro, it shit
I
turned into a
went-
flag, bro.
I want to drop that.
Shit, you made the fucking bisexual flag, bro. What is this? The lesbian flag, bro.
I was about to
Holy.
draw Patrick, bro, and it just failed.
Oh my god. Alright, now what? I'm down to run that one back, Loki.
She was. I never panicked so much in my life.
What are you guys saying?
What other shit is there? What was that one Discord game we used to run through, bro?
Bobbleheads?
Yeah,
Bobble
Bobblehead.
soccer?
Bobble
Bobble
League?
soccer?
Bobble
Yeah, we
League
can run
was
that.
crazy.
Yeah,
That was
I
fun.
love Bobble League.
I'm down. There's 5 of us. It's gonna be uneven teams.
Nah, you just control 2, no?
Let's
Some
one
shit
do.
like
And let's one do like the Bobble racer. I don't know what they still have.
Yeah, no, I swear you can do Bobble League with odd number.
With the bot?
Yeah, we'll just control 2, I
How the
swear.
fuck do you control 2
Is
if
there
you're
like
playing
mini golf
soccer?
too?
There's putt.
No, because you
there's a
pre-plan
golf
your moves, remember?
Oh yeah, I forgot about
You
that.
input your moves beforehand, so I think
Yeah,
we can.
yeah. What's it called? See all games.
There's also Putt Party.
What the fuck is putt? Oh yeah.
It's mini golf. Yo, there's also Fortnite. What the fuck?
What?
It's 2v2.io.
What the fuck?
There's go
Yeah,
karts,
it's fucking
Yo, what about
Fortnite, yeah.
Crunker, bro? Crunker. Let's run some Crunker.
Crunker. There's go karts,
Shut up, Crunker.
Smash
Crunker
cards.
what?
The go karts IO.
Yes.
Yeah, go karts.
Let's run Crunker, bro. Shit.
Conquer works, it's running.
Yeah, where's
What about Slither.io?
I'm down for Slither
Is that
too.
here?
No, not there.
Yeah, in general. But can you still get into the same servers, or they fucking nuked that shit, bro?
Nah, I'd rather do Conquer or Bobble League than Slither.
Yo, there's also something called Smash Kart, where it's like Crunker but with cars.
Bro, they got SpongeBob Big Guy.
Yeah, there's so many games.
Yeah, let's just
All right,
do
I'm starting a
Crunker Strike.
Crunker Strike, right?
Yeah.
I just want Crunker.io.
Oh, you're on. Oh, I'm on Discord.
Oh, we're
That's where they
it's,
took down the website.
it's in Discord now.
Oh,
Also.
bro, I don't have a mouse, bro.
Oh.
I don't know if we should play on
If you don't
Discord.
have a
Though.
mouse, then yeah, let's not play this game. What the hell?
Bro, I played once without a mouse, bro. That shit was not fun.
Yeah, no, let's get
This
out
shit is
of let's
not
get out of
good,
this
bro.
place without the fucking mouse, bro.
Yeah, if there's Bobble League, let's run Bobble League.
Yeah. That might be.
Hold on, I'm in a match right now, Crunker.
Yo, leave.
Bro,
Can I
what
watch?
the fuck, bro? Can I watch?
Can you?
What the hell?
I think so. I'm streaming as Ben. Can you guys watch? Or no?
Sir Benjamin?
Yeah, or do I have to like actually share my screen?
1 second. Yeah, I can watch it.
Does this work?
Yeah, I
Or
see
can
it.
you just
I
watch
can
it
see it.
straight up?
I can see it. I can see it.
Yo, Guggen,
Do I have to share my screen though?
Yeah.
Guggen, did you take your PC back home?
No.
Or what are you playing on?
Oh,
Laptop.
laptop.
Oh, shit.
Yo, what is taking so long, bro?
Bro, there's nobody playing this fucking game.
Oh yeah, I'm not even playing right now. Okay, you guys want to run it?
Yes.
Oh, bro, what the fuck? Okay, let's play it.
Yeah.
Crunker, big
Alright,
weapons,
where's
okay.
Bubble League?
Bob.
Yeah.
Bobble League.
Someone has to start it.
Crunker.io? What are we doing?
Did you start it?
Bob.
Bobble League.
Yeah, I started.
Where is it? How do I start? How do we play? Where do we
Just
play?
join the
Discord.
You gotta
activity
go.
on Discord, join the activity.
Oh.
Wait, yo, didn't someone need like premium before?
No.
Yo, are you in a game already, Servo?
Oh, this is a public matchmaking. What is going on?
Private. Click on
Private
the
game, yeah.
Click where?
So
bottom left.
click private game.
Bottom left.
Oh. Okay.
Alright, pick a team.
Do I have to do anything right now or what?
Oh yeah, that's the
Yeah,
team.
join the
Click.
team. In the
Yeah.
bottom
Click
left.
private
yeah,
match.
click private match, and then join a team.
It says I'm in a queue.
No.
Wait, what? No, you gotta
Actually
leave.
join a public match.
Private game.
Yeah, there you go. Not join a team.
Okay.
Did you start it? Oh shit.
Yeah, I think it's started. All right.
How do you play this?
So you just gotta like
Alright.
click and drag your moves, basically.
Arjun, you see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that works.
Yo, should we hop into another channel?
Is that
I
serious?
don't know if that was that serious.
Is that serious?
Oh, we got
Alright.
blocks. How do we use the power up?
What power up? You have it. We don't. Only you have it.
Okay, this guy going there.
I'm staying here.
Yeah.
Oops. Did I just block someone?
Deep. I'm gonna go deep.
Oh, this is gonna be a goal.
A goal.
I lied.
Where? Bro?
Okay.
I'm going that way.
What's the process? Yeah.
Did no one go for the ball? That's so funny.
Nah. We did.
Oh, nice.
We did.
Nah, I did not intentionally.
Okay,
I didn't.
we're on D. Okay. Hold on.
Let's coordinate this shit, bro.
That one, right? Okay. Where are you gonna move that guy?
I think I'm moving like right here.
Okay, yeah, I'm with that.
What's this?
This is a tactic. Is this a tactic?
Bro, what?
Oh, so close.
Bro, how'd you guys cross?
No, why is it going back?
All right, it worked. All right.
Okay. Just
Oh,
like
come
you
on!
do.
They're sitting right on top of a power up. I'm gonna go that way. You see what I'm doing?
Yeah. You know what?
I think I get that, right?
I'm gonna do this fucker.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh shit! He moved me.
Oh, fuck.
But I'm still gonna go for it.
Okay, bro. Okay, I'm gonna play a little defensive. Bro, what? Oh, sick.
No way.
Yes, sir.
Yo, Arjun, you know what you gotta do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna get totally out the way. You can't fuck this up, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay, the password.
No.
Oh.
Let's go.
Good shit.
Bro, Lagoon James scored it? No way, bro.
No way.
It's the replay.
It'd be your own, bro.
It'd be you, bro.
All right. We're saying defense, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Alright.
Wait, hold on. No. Check this out. Boom.
Oh wait, I'm going.
And then right there.
Okay, you want to go there? Okay.
Trust the process. Yeah. See? I read that.
Did we get the power up?
I don't know.
Don't think so.
All right.
Yeah. You do that.
I'm gonna go this way.
I'm gonna set the screen right here.
I'm gonna try to do this.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
See if this works.
Okay, I like it.
Oh.
No.
Yes.
Let's go. Oh.
Okay.
I'm Munir.
That's
Nah,
all you.
he has no angle.
Yo, they keep getting all the power ups, bro. We're getting screwed on that.
Ajit,
You
go
don't
on,
gotta see the
man.
power up, bro. Some bullshit. Okay. We take those.
Okay. That's an angle.
Okay.
All right, we know where they're shooting from, so.
Yeah. Hold on. I think there.
Let's go.
Let's go. We did it. Who that is?
Yo, Alan, join our team. Hurry up, join our team.
Yeah, it's
Alan, you're so cooked, buddy.
it's fine.
Zone. Nah, let's rush.
Let's run this.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I need both you guys to go.
Okay, do
Both
it.
you guys? No. Yeah, go that way.
Yes. Okay. My guy's going there.
Yo, they switched the goal.
Oh fuck! Yo.
Oh, did I do it too early? Why did the time reset?
Yeah.
Close one. Wait, so we're what the fuck? Where are we
What's
shooting?
happening? What's going on?
So Gogan, we're aiming right.
No,
right?
no, no, we're
Yeah.
no, that's like yo, line that shit up, bro. Everybody, that's crazy.
Yeah. I didn't know it would switch back.
That's fucked.
Yeah, bro, it's some bullshit.
Oh,
Let's go.
let's
Good try,
fucking
good try, good
go.
Fuck. Okay.
That's a play. That's a
nah,
play.
I'm fine with that. Yo, chill. Bro, no, I put too much power on it.
Let's see that replay. Holy.
Oh, we're cooking them, bro.
Okay, I'll let you pick. I'll let you pick the formation.
Alright, alright.
Okay.
Yo, why are we...
Okay, yo.
Yo, go for that power up.
Okay, bet. Nah, he's gonna get it first, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Do that. No. Go back. Okay, I like it.
Holy.
Ooh, buddy. Ah!
Good setup, good setup.
Damn.
Fuck.
Okay, he's gonna get there first, though.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Actually, no, I would go a little further, but that's fine. Okay.
There we go. We're set up. We're set
No,
up.
that's not good.
Okay, but they're gonna crowd the paint.
Yeah, they might.
I'm gonna get the power up.
You got the power up? Okay, I'm gonna do this then.
Yeah. That's exactly what I have in mind.
Oh,
Nice save.
Let's
Big
go.
saves. That's tough.
Okay, no, you got it back.
You see our power? Do you know what our power up is?
No, I don't know how to use that shit. Yeah, do that. I'm gonna do this, okay?
Yeah, I'm getting out of here.
Nah, I'm getting in there.
Get in there. Ooh.
That was crazy.
I just. I'm gonna give you a power up, bro.
Like this? What?
Yeah, I just hit that shit, bro. You got hella power.
Alright.
I wonder how this is gonna work. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, now I think we have a better angle here.
Yeah.
Okay, Gogan, I need you to go for that one. Yeah, go for the ball. You think I should? No, I don't think I should leave.
I don't know which direction to hit it though.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Yo, power up's on your top left, Arjun.
Oh shit. It's
Oh,
the
that's
bounce.
Sometimes
Uh-oh.
you
Alright, it's a good setup. It's a good setup for me.
Uh-oh.
Or both of us.
Okay, I think. Yeah.
You're gonna have to do something. Like. Because I don't think I can hit that first.
Nah, you good.
Ooh, that's
Fuck,
fucking crazy. Yo, it's crazy block.
Okay, should I leave net? No, bad idea. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna just cause disturbance.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Wait, we might have to get to that first though. I'm gonna hit it this way.
Yo, they're using a boost.
Yeah, I see it.
You gonna get there first?
Hopefully you get that.
Oh, good shit. We got the first.
Damn. It's okay.
Alright, Gogan, that's you.
We can stop this.
I'm gonna get this power up.
Grab that.
You guys getting all these goddamn power.
Join or not?
Alan. Nah, I think he left.
He left.
You've been left, bro.
Ah, we didn't get a good hit on that. Fuck. Okay, nah, the angle's weird.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna tell you to do. I agree with that move.
And then maybe I'll like just do that.
Yeah. Oh shit! I didn't see that coming.
Oh, what?
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah, that was an insane touchdown. What the fuck?
That's me.
Why did you do that last
Go.
round, you fucker?
Oh, I didn't even think. I didn't even think of that stuff.
I use the power up.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
Okay.
I
never mind.
think ghosting only hits the ball. I don't know if it like it can still block a player.
No, I wanted it to not. If you use it on, can you use it on other people?
No, that's my thing. Is like no, if I use it on other people, I think it's like they can only not hit the ball. Like he can still block you.
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
I'm confused.
You're going. You clear him. I'll try to do this. Okay.
Clear him. I'ma clear you. Oh.
What?
Yo.
Yo, you can hit it out, I
Oh,
think.
aim the other way, bro. Oh, okay.
Okay. Let's go.
I'm confused.
Arjun, that's you.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
I'm gonna do this.
I don't even know what's going on
Yeah, I
anymore.
like it. Actually, I would angle it a little differently, but that's fine.
Let's see.
Yeah. Okay, nah, you're good. You're good.
Oh.
Fine.
Oh,
It's calm.
fuck. Okay, we got another go.
Damn, we need more power.
Bro,
Let's go for the. Oh yeah, no.
This is fucking rigged, bro. No, I'm keeping this guy.
Yeah, sir, I'll move out of the way.
How many more turns are there?
It's at the
Uh,
top.
I think
top.
it's a score limit.
Heck yes, sir.
Ooh.
All the way, all the way,
Nah,
all the way.
That's not going on.
All right, that's in our court. We can play with that.
Yeah, I'm right there.
Yeah, I know. I knew that team that playing with balls.
Hmm.
Oh, get that.
How'd you get that? How'd you get that?
That's too risky.
Damn, what are we doing
How'd you
here?
get the power? All right.
I just power
Yeah,
behind you.
yeah, Duggan, what do you think? Yeah?
I'm just gonna use this because I have it.
That's annoying. Oh no, that works. I like that.
I don't know where this thing's
Is
gonna
it family
bounce
shot
though.
on us?
Oh.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
Don't worry, we're to Ajay. Actually, no, Ajay, watch out. Watch out. I got the angle.
Okay, if both your guys go up, I'm gonna stay back.
All right.
Oh my God.
Ooh, good shit, good shit.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Oh, and it's right there too.
Yeah, that's good, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
What the
Yo,
fuck?
yo, Arjun, you know what to do, right?
What
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fuck?
of
What the
course, of
fuck?
course.
You dick.
Ah,
Oh,
Ole.
I think we're still okay.
yeah. I
No,
think
you're
we're-
not. You're going backwards, bro.
Bro, he told you were going backwards and you still tried it, bro?
Okay.
Bro, Sacramento Kings over there, fam. Unserious franchise.
Oh, I'm going backwards.
Who's getting there first? Nah.
Damn, this is a game, bro. Arjun, I would say move your goalie up a little too, because he's kind of pushed back.
That's right.
What the fuck?
Oh.
Turn up. Turn
Yeah,
up, turn up.
Okay. That's me. Everyone's just going to the ball.
Okay.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Big going for this. The fuck? Oh, they're causing chaos.
I'm gonna go that way. That was me.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna slow me down. Hold on, I don't know if this is gonna help.
No, you got body him out the way. Don't worry, bro. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit.
No, oh my god.
It's okay. You're in net now, bro. What the fuck happened?
Okay. Clear both of them. At least try.
All right, I'm gonna go. Like,
I like it.
let me see what happens here.
Ooh.
No. Okay, go too far. Okay.
How many you got that power up?
I'll get the power up.
I don't know what to do here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to backtrack or something. I'm gonna backtrack too. I don't think anyone's going for the ball, by the way.
Okay, I like this.
That's all you.
Yeah, no.
No, I just aim
You do right? You
towards.
do right?
Yeah, that way. Yeah, perfect. No, a little to the left.
Alright, bet.
Okay, that should work. Honestly, it should work.
Nice.
Alright, that's all you. And the power ups on your side. You're cooking, bro.
All right. We can still get this.
Yeah.
It's intense, bro. Intense.
Ooh.
No.
Okay.
Bounce.
Nah, it's not a good shot.
Nah, you can bounce it.
For who, bro? That's a perfect shot for me. It's Rocket League angles.
Mmm. Yeah, everybody just in the golden corner.
Yo, go and get the power up.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Oh, no way.
Oh my gosh.
No
Oh my
fucking
gosh.
way, dude.
Oh,
Wait, did you?
I fucked that up.
Did you boost? Oh, you did boost it in a different direction?
I did not mean to place it that way.
It might still work. Yeah, it still worked. Okay, I'm gonna move out the way, okay?
Yeah.
Bet.
You got this.
Yeah, I got you.
You got it, bro.
Nice.
Come here. Hit it. Look where I'm aiming, bro. Trying to get it there.
Go lower.
I'm aiming for that bottom corner.
It's just not gonna work, bro.
This is gonna work, bro. It's gonna work.
Oh my god, yo, we cooked. We actually fucking cooked. No, we cooked. You gotta watch this fucking replay, bro.
Oh my god.
That was pretty good. That was clean.
was actually clean.
That was clean.
Holy fuck. Let's go. That was a good game, though.
That's all.
I swear we got the first 3 goals in like the first like 6 turns, and then it took 40 to get the next 2.
Because you gotta get we like got the hang of it and shit.
Yeah. Alright, run it back.
No, I'm gonna call it now. You guys do 2v2.
2v2.
Done, Ajay?
I'm done.
Bet.
I gotta go to the office tomorrow, so I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, facts. Alright, good night, bro.
Alright, easy guys, easy.
Good night.
Yo, Surfo, join the team.
All right. Hold on. Okay, that was good.
Okay.
Good shit.
I was not ready.
Wait, hold on. This is gonna be our thing? Okay.
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah. I like it. Trust the process. I like it. Okay.
Fast start. So.
Yo. Okay. Yo. We have numbers on offense. I don't think move that guy. No, I think keep him on offense.
I'm gonna try to cut them off here.
Nice.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
I'm in that now.
Okay,
Go for that, Arjun.
Okay, but
Yeah.
I like it.
alright.
Oh, what the fuck? That shit
Damn.
was
What is
speeding, bro.
going on? I don't think we can get that. I mean, we both have power ups anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Alright.
Yeah, I don't know
do
if you
that.
can keep 2 power-ups at once, anyways.
You can't. You can't.
You can't. You cannot.
No, you can't get to more than like you got to use your power up if you want another one.
Okay.
Otherwise, it'll just replace it.
Thank you.
Hey, you got the power up?
That's crazy.
Fuck. I lost the other power. Wait. Hold on. Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it. Go for it. Are you gonna hit it though?
Even if I don't, those are the cards.
I'm gonna. You're hitting that. I'm gonna send my guy into now.
Bro, I don't know what these fucking power-ups these guys are hoarding, bro. I'm scared.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for the red.
They got weapons of mass destruction over there.
They got fentanyl?
Fenty.
Arjun, I'm gonna try to do
I'm
something.
gonna go like.
Yo, that's great, bro.
All right, yo, you see your invisible one? It can't be hit by anyone, so you can go straight in, like, try to angle it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then use the other one. Go. Oh,
What?
Nice. Nice.
Oh, I blocked. They blocked it? Oh, they didn't block
Oh
it.
my
They
God.
didn't block it. They didn't block it. Bro, Cooking, what was your plan with the ghost thing? I'm so confused what you're trying to tell me to
I
do,
thought
bro.
Arjun would hit it off the bubble, and then he could assist himself.
I still don't understand how he's getting the ball though.
Like by hitting it off the bubble and passing to himself.
Yo, you're seeing things that we're not seeing, I think.
I don't see it at all.
Yeah. They're going back. I like it.
Oh,
my gosh,
no!
oh my gosh, oh
Oh my gosh!
We're good.
Oh my gosh! Like fucking save, bro.
So, if I put the thing, how does this work? Oh,
Bro, what are you cooking, bro?
oh, how do you? Oh wait.
Oh,
Okay.
you can retard it. Retard it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go see if you can rotate the thing.
The cinder blocks? Yeah, you tried it.
Holy.
Yeah, give me that. Yo, give me out. It's a little ambitious.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
They gonna love me for
I
my
see, or I
ambition.
should do this. Actually, yo, I'm gonna do this.
I bet.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Did we get the power up?
I don't know. I don't think so. No. Okay, I like it. I like this.
Yeah. Perfect.
It's a good angle, right?
Yo, Arjun, no. I'd say just leave it. Yeah, perfect. Yo, we're gonna score.
Oh, but yeah, what did we do?
Bro, they fucking knocked me out of the way, bro.
There's no way. Fuck it, bro.
How is that gonna make it any better, bro?
I don't know, bro. He misses this. He misses this.
Good shit. Good shit.
Go.
They dragging it, bro.
They dragging it. Yeah. Alright.
No, you go for it.
Yeah, we have no coverage on one side. Fuck it.
Turn up.
Oh shit.
Nah, we
Turn
good,
up,
we good.
turn up.
Did I get? Oh, I didn't get the power up.
I got the power up.
Did you get the power? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Oh my god.
fuck.
Okay, I'm gonna play a little aggressive at this forward, the forward guy, and then you move up a little bit.
Yo, go for the power up.
Good call.
No, go to the middle, Minir.
I'm gonna punch him.
Okay.
Look, you got the power.
Sit the hour.
Okay, I got the power up, I got the power up. What's the plan here?
Oh, no, I'm just hitting that shit. Hopefully it goes to the middle. Maybe you can tap it in.
No, I'm gonna oh shit.
Nah, he got there first.
It's okay.
He got there first. Okay, we got you got a better angle or do I have the angle?
No, you don't have to be reactive here.
It's
Yeah.
I think you have the better
it's-
angle.
yeah, alright. Shit, why
I think you have the better angle. Nice.
Imagine I miss. Okay.
We
Oh
didn't
my
get the
gosh.
power up.
Okay. Yeah, I said bring him out. Fuck it. Actually, no.
Okay. Not
Okay. They're in the third.
horrible.
Arjun, go for that. No, actually, yo. Surfo has to go for the power up or go for the shot. So
He's gonna go for the shot. No, the ball. Alright, let's go. It's you. It's you.
yo, you go for the shot, okay?
Yeah.
I nutted, yeah. I nutted.
Mmm.
It didn't work. Oh, I missed. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. Bro, I gotta get out of the side of the fucking map, bro.
Go. Make a straight line down. Make a straight line down. Go.
Reduce
Power
him
up.
a little bit. I think.
This is the play. It's the play.
Hopefully it works. Ah. There you go. Get a few.
No way. That's it.
No way.
Bang.
Too much power.
Fuck.
You're dragging it, bro.
All right.
This again. I like this.
Yeah. Okay. We gotta play a little defensive now.
You in here? You go for yeah.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
It's all good.
How the fuck?
How the fuck did your guy get over there, bro?
Yo, go for the power up. Yeah. I say move your goalie out too,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Oh, chaos. I like it.
Oh shit. That's chaos. That's chaos.
What'd you get?
You talking to your teammate? Bro?
Yes.
I can't see what he gets.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I can. Yeah.
How do you see?
At the bottom, where your teammates' icons are.
Oh, word.
Nice.
Good shit, Bato.
Nice.
Good shit, Bato.
Nice.
I got this.
Yeah. You hear me out?
I want to go for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I'm doing in here?
Yo, Guggen, your guys keep on offense.
No. I have
I'm
no
gonna do
idea
that.
what you're doing, bro.
I'm
Do
gonna
you think
do
you can
that.
block?
Oh, okay.
Okay. The man in the back is gonna go for it.
They're getting the power up.
I think I'm gonna get this first. Oh shit.
Oh, they ramped you, bro? They raped you,
Yeah,
bro?
they got me bad. They got me bad. Does this reset the timer though?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, you did it on the wrong guy though. Okay.
I mean, that was a risk I had to take. Oh, fuck.
Wait, Minir, aim for the ball too. Aim for the ball too, Minir, aim for the ball too.
So, Guggen, your guy moving back post, or you can just keep him.
Oh, it didn't. Oh, it did. Okay, it kind of did, but
It's fine.
their whole team is in that, bro.
Yo, Guggen, your guy, move him up.
Yeah. I'm gonna do something like that.
Yeah, like it.
I think we can score off of this.
Yeah, especially with the power up.
Oh, no way, dude.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy.
Okay.
Oh,
There's no way.
Matt Goon. No, he fucking bodied me out the way.
Wait,
No way.
the beach ball moves the guy?
What the fuck? Yo, they're dragging him.
Deserve.
Bro. There's no way.
They're dragging it.
They're dragging it, bro. Oh my gosh.
Fuck.
Okay. So, you know how this has to end, right? We'll just
Yeah.
end it on a tie.
Alright, bet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with that. What other games are there?
Wait, I was totally joking. No, we gotta do a tie.
Oh,
Why'd you guys agree?
you don't want to end on a tie, bro?
I thought you wanted like you know like change expectations, you know?
Yeah, I thought bro wanted to be like
Keep
good
them on their
sport and
toes and shit. I'm down to play mini putt or something. Putt party?
Pardon?
Oh, you started it? Oh shit.
Yo, move your guy up. Yeah.
None of this gonna work.
I don't know if it is.
Nah, I didn't hit it quick enough.
Let's
Yeah, the
go.
ball's literally behind me. Okay, let's see what happens here.
What are we doing here?
What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm doing nothing.
Oh
why
my
why didn't
gosh.
you move, bro?
I did move. His player blocks me.
Oh.
You're going to the power
You go for the ball, bro. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'll go for the power.
Get back close. Get back close. What the fuck?
I don't know what the fuck's going on, bro.
Bro
I
does
don't know
not want me to
what's
get the power up, bro. Oh.
happening. What? I don't know what to do still. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
No,
Are you going for that?
Move up. Yeah.
Okay.
Get towards offense. Yeah.
I don't know if it'll move though.
That's
It's a really bad angle.
fuck it. Alright.
What the fuck are we cooking, yo? Alright.
You gonna get there first, brother?
Probably.
I'm going to the middle, bro. I'm aiming this nigga from fire. He's gonna score the goal. Watch. What I say? Oh no. Stop.
I mean, if you kept going, you could have got it.
Could have got it.
Yo, you're moving your. Okay.
You're drinking your cocky.
Rotation. Bro. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, get this ball out of here, man. Fuck. Yeah, I'll go for power up.
Bet.
Okay.
Bro, again?
Are you serious?
That's
Are you serious?
fucked. That's fucked. That's so fucked.
Oh man, hold a little more.
Yeah. No, we're good.
Okay, yo, clear. Yeah.
Wait, Munir, don't do nothing crazy, yo.
What is that even supposed to mean, bro?
Fuck, okay. Yo, go swap. Yo, head to net. Yo, your guy in the back, head to the net.
Yo, he did not listen. Oh, fuck.
Oh, he blocked
He
it.
blocked
No,
it.
I knew what was going on. It's just gonna switch back, so I didn't want to panic.
No, but still, I felt like we needed someone in net. But it worked out. You move your guy up a little bit in net.
Yeah.
Ooh, right there.
Bro, this guy's in the power up. What the hell?
He literally spawned.
No, I'm not letting you get this, bro.
Yo, is your guy staying in net, Guggen?
Yeah.
Okay, right. No, he's not.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
that's funny,
Oh
man.
my gosh.
Yeah. We take those. No.
Yeah, no. All right.
Okay. And I'll rotate to net.
Bet.
Okay, this is good. This is really good.
Oh, fuck. Bumper?
Hey.
That's you.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that's tough.
So close. Bad angle.
Alright, Circle, you got that?
How do I hit this shit?
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay, you think? Okay, you see like what that is? Okay.
Bounce
perfect.
it, bounce it, bro. And you got the power up? Nice, nice.
Yo, Gogan, you guys play aggressive.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a hard fucking 0-0, bro.
Holy, I didn't realize.
Nah, we're gonna score something. Why we have no one in net, bro?
Fuck. Yo, my bad. Go back. Hear me out. Yeah. Ah, fuck. We read it, but or we just hit it too hard.
Damn.
Okay.
I don't think anybody's gonna hit the ball.
Fuck yo, we got on in that.
I'm in that.
Fuck,
I'm
we
in
got
that.
no
I'm in
net?
that. Don't worry, I'm in that, bro.
Arjun, get that, get that.
Yep. Yes, yes. Okay, I like it.
This is gonna be a tough one, bro.
It's gonna go in. I'm
Ah,
calling it.
fuck.
I lied.
Okay, we got power up now.
Shit. Arjun. Fuck.
No, we good.
I'm gonna try to do this.
Okay, I like it. No.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh my gosh.
Bro, Arjun sent me flying, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, go again. It's a little risky, but fuck it.
Fuck it, right? Yeah, fuck it.
Big bumpers.
Yo, no one's going for the ball.
Damn, what the fuck? Oh, fuckers are flying.
Think we can block this? Yeah, I can block this.
Bro, what do you mean block this? You're getting there first.
Yeah.
Ooh, close. Yeah, let me set that screen over there. And
Yeah, this is a long 0-0. So
yeah,
It's strategic, bro.
because we know what we're doing now. Ooh!
Ooh.
Go!
Surfall, you think you got that?
I like this fast break potential.
no, you got it.
What? What happened? Oh, fuck.
I'm aiming for the net, bro.
Oh, they moved
Oh
the
my gosh.
ball.
Oh,
my
perfect.
gosh, oh my
Perfect.
gosh.
Yo, get your other guy in that. Get your other guy in good position, bro. Fuck.
Good shit. Good
That's
shit, good
crazy.
shit.
That was crazy. Double combo.
Yes.
Yeah. Shit's fine.
This is gonna take forever, bro.
Yo, go get your guy stay in that.
Yeah, my guy's staying there.
Holy shit, man.
Let's go! Oh!
No way.
Oh, damn. That's close.
Okay, we got numbers here. It's too many mans here though. Hold on. Yo, Guggen, you go first. Trust me. Or
What
not.
do you mean, go for it?
Trust me, bro.
Bro, I said trust me, bro. I'm nowhere there. Get that power up.
Yep.
Manu, you got it?
Yo, your guy has to go back.
We
to that.
both have to get this, bro. We're gonna power of friendship this bitch, bro.
Okay, that's not good too, bro.
Yo, hit that wherever you can, bro. Please.
Oh, good block. Nice cock. Nice cock.
Oh,
Oh,
over his head.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
no,
gonna
hit the
bounce. It's
bumper.
gonna bounce. It's gonna hit the bumper. Oh, it didn't hit the bumper. Okay.
okay, I go for ball. You go for. Actually, no. You go for ball. No. You go for. No. That's too risky. I go for ball.
Holy man.
Yo, I'm moving this guy back close.
Yo, get the power up. Get the power up.
Okay.
The fuck?
What the fuck just happened?
What just happened?
I don't know.
What?
the fuck?
What the
Yo,
fuck?
what's going
Bro,
on?
what's going on, bro? Oh shit. Shit's moving, but shit's not happening. What the fuck?
Whatever.
Wait, what just happened, bro?
What
I
happened?
have no idea. No one's going for the ball. Nice.
Okay, I like it.
I don't know what to do. Arjun.
Bruh.
Go for that.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Useless ass rat.
No, that worked.
Okay.
Yo, this is a long ass fucking 0-0. This is crazy.
Been insane, bro.
Nah, but you didn't say it like the way I said it, bro.
Yeah.
It's a long ass 0-0.
Oh.
You got that?
Yeah.
Nah, Manir. I say try to block them, bro.
I like it, Goki. Yeah, we take those.
Yes.
Shit. I don't know about this, bro.
Oh shit.
Oh, nice.
I panicked a little bit before, right?
No, it's good. It's good.
Too risky.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Oh shit. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Arjun, you know what you gotta do, bro?
Yeah. Yo, get the power up. You guy in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
No! Wait, you didn't get the power up either?
Nah.
You're so good. Nah. Yo,
They're not gonna score, I mean-
Go in the back, rotate to net.
This guy.
No,
Right?
the other guy at the bottom of the screen.
Okay, I'm going.
Rotate like, yeah. Perfect.
Did none of us move? What the fuck?
No, we move. Yeah, I'm gonna get the power up.
Yeah, go for it.
Why did we switch nets, bro? What is it? Why are you guys in our net? Surfa, what do you? Oh!
Bang!
Okay, that was
Bang!
right. That's fine.
How did that
was
work?
Crazy, because it bounced and it made like the angle change or some shit, bro.
Damn. That was good.
This guy's cooking, bro.
I remember.
I rub my tip to you, bro.
Appreciate it.
I tip my cock to you, bro.
No, go for it.
Fuck you, bro. Fuck you, bro. Did not work.
Oh shit. Okay.
No, touch tips, touch tips. Yeah. Touch tips. Yeah.
No, no,
Perfect.
Goggin, try to hear him before you do it.
Hmm?
Touch tips.
What'd you say?
No.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, touch tips,
Eminem, that ball is yours, bro.
bro.
I'm gonna go for that.
Clear him. Clear him with the other guy. Yeah.
Damn, he got me. He got me.
Yeah, I see.
He nutted on you, bro.
Nice. That ball's yours again, bro.
We're all stuck, bro.
And you got this. And you got the fucking power up. Okay. If it goes straight to the pad, launch pad, I'm gonna just slowly go to the middle.
It's just not gonna work, bro.
And bro, trust. Oh, I went too fast.
There's too many bodies there, bro.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh, what the
gosh.
Yo, Arjun.
Your own teammates like,
Oh,
what the
push him,
fuck,
push him,
bro?
push him, push him, push him, push him, push him, push him out of the way, push him out of the way.
Oh, fuck. No, go swap. We're
Yeah,
defending.
push him out of the way, push him out of the way. Push them, push them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got you.
I don't know if this would work though.
Oh no!
Oh, it worked. That's
Let's go. Good shit.
crazy.
Go again. You did the go swap, right?
Yeah, I've been saving that since like I got it in like around like 30 minutes ago, bro.
That's a big one.
That's why I didn't go for any of the power ups.
Well, yo, it's an intense 1-1.
Bro, we
Yeah,
got,
we're
we got all the points in the last 10 rounds. Actually crazy.
You want me to go back? I can go back.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
go.
you gotta go next.
Go for it. Oh wait. Why did my guy move?
Yo, why didn't your guy move, bro? We could have had that shit.
Why did my guy move?
We could have had that
could've
shit,
had this.
bro.
Oh, fuck.
I'm gonna do this,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna do that.
I'm gonna rotate one of these guys tonight. Oh no, I don't like this.
Ah, shit.
I worked out.
I'm working out.
Okay. I don't know what I should do here, but I'm gonna just do this.
Yeah. Don't overthink it. Big bumpers, no.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Look, again, rotate back post.
He's doing Rocket League callouts. I'm crying.
Good D. Yo, your guys stay in that. Okay, I like this.
Oh,
There's no way.
Nice.
Yes,
No
Good shit,
fucking
good shit.
way, bro.
bro.
Fuck, this guy's cooking, bro.
Yo, look at the little 1-2, bro. I knew that shit was coming my way.
Bullshit, bro. Oh my god. I'm
No
tight.
power ups, just pure, authentic Bobble League.
Yeah,
Should we do
authentic.
this?
We don't need power ups, bro.
Should we do that? Okay.
I'm gonna go this
No,
way.
bro.
Yeah, let's play defensive. Okay. Nice.
Power better be on the other side. Okay. I knew you got that. He's
I'm gonna do
block
this.
me.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's gonna
He's gonna
block
try to
you.
block me.
We'll see what happens.
I like it.
It's just intense, bro.
No!
No way I missed.
Yeah, you missed.
I'm gonna get back.
Fuck, yo, that can go through a bubble.
You can.
Oh my
No!
gosh.
Oh, let's
No way.
go, Bato!
Get up!
Bro, you see how I pushed him out the way?
Yeah, that was good, bro.
That was good,
Crazy,
good.
crazy.
All right. It's time to walk in. Arjun.
Oh my gosh.
Match
dude.
point. Yo, round
This
51. Yo, we got all the last, like, in the last 15, bro. Alright. What's the play here?
Trust me. Go, no. Go again. Move to the other side. Move to the other side. Trust me.
What do you mean?
Like, your guy at the bottom?
Yeah.
Downwards.
Are you sure? Are you gonna go straight then?
Nah, I was just gonna stand in one place.
Nowhere.
But,
Okay, Menendez. No. Okay.
oh, shit.
Fuck, bro. Why'd he go big mode on me, bro?
wait.
That's why.
Let's go! Let's go!
That's crazy.
Holy GG's, brother. Yo.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Fucking big brain play, literally.
Yeah, big brain plays. This game was already over, bro.
Just don't play.
Yo, this might be my favorite Discord game, bro.
I mean, this is easily the best one, bro.
It's so simple too.
Alright, what's next, though? 2v2
let me
IO? We gotta run 2v2 IO, bro. Fucking Fortnite.
Bro, I don't have a mouse, bro.
My fault.
Hold on, give
Party?
Is there other games?
Party?
Blazing 8s.
There's mini
What's
golf.
Blazing 8?
That's crazy eights.
Crazy 8s.
Uno.
I'll go for Uno.
Just launch it. Oh, shit. What the fuck is treble mute? Nah, I'm not doing that shit again, bro.
What is treble music?
It's a fucking discount rhythm, isn't it?
Is that what it is?
I'm assuming. What the fuck
I thought it was like guess the song.
Blazing eights. Well, this blackjack, bro? Damn.
Yo.
Alright, tap in. Blazing eights, guys.
Turn it off. All I see is Bobble League.
Yeah, it was there for like a second.
Oh, what? That didn't even make any sense, bro. Oh, why you open Letter League, bro?
So I'm just opening up shit, bro.
Music went hard, though. Yo, Arjun, you have like noise suppression on your mic, bro?
Why is it bad? Is it leaking?
Yeah, like you don't have like crisp on Discord?
I have what?
There's a button on Discord. It's like noise suppression next to the hang up button, you know? You have that shit on?
Nah. How does that work?
There's a button next to the hang up button on Discord, you know, the bottom left.
Yeah.
It's like a waveform icon. Is that on noise suppression? No?
I don't know.
Oh well.
It's on now.
Alright, wait for Kevin to get here.
Hello?
Hello. Gagana.
So there's a screenshot I'm looking for.
Baltasar.
Oh, I'm not in it?
No, Baltasar, not Bato. Baltasar. Where this guy at, bro?
No.
This guy's running Bobble League drills by himself right now. I can feel it.
up, Kenny?
Whoa, Kenny. Whoa, Kenneth. Bang. Bang.
Quandale Dinkley.
Quandale Dingle here. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Quandale Dingle. Bro, some brain rot memes, man, they're just like a tier above the rest, you know? Like who took a picture of NBA YoungBoy, enlarged his nose, and then was like, "Yo, this is Quandale Dingle," and then put this fucking not even like some radio ass announcer voice. Hey guys, it's Quandale Dingle.
Quandale Dingle.
Wasn't that guy doing like fucking covers of like rap songs too, bro?
Yeah, whatever Quandale Dingle's doing, that's what Dingle's doing.
I wonder where Quandale Dingle is. We need a fucking Michael McCrudden video. Where are they now for Quandale Dingle?
Someone want to call Duggan or something?
Where did he go? This guy deadass running league like drills in Bobble League, bro.
I'll call him.
Most of it's his day off.
Quandale Dingle here. Yo, what if instead of Quandale Dingle, it was a Bondale Dingle?
What?
A Bondale Dingle here. But instead of NBA YoungBoy, it's a Bond with an enlarged nose. But you gotta see the vision, bro. Oh, he's back. There he is. No, wait, did he just leave the game? Oh no, he left the other one. This guy's muted and deafened. This guy's muted and deafened, bro.
My fault. What's up?
Quandale Dingle here. All right, join the game, bro.
Is this just like Uno, bro?
Yeah, bro.
Oh.
We got discount stitch.
Is it my turn?
It's
Charging.
Arjun's turn.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Oh, my fault, man.
Your timer's running out, buddy.
Is it timer?
Asshole. I liked my cards.
The first
What
round.
color is it? You have to take my card.
Because you're next, bro.
Oh my god, he
Damn.
skipped me with my own card, bro.
This guy's thinking, bro. This guy's the thinker, bro.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Bam. Bam. Bam.
Bang. Bing chilling. It says quick.
Damn, what am I doing? Why did I do that?
Nah, look, I fucked up. I picked the wrong color of my thing, bro. Damn.
That's my card. That nigga took my cards one, bro. Oh, fuck you.
Hey man, I'm not the one who swapped the direction.
Why did my cards just change? What the fuck?
Yeah, Arjun swapped hands with you, bro.
Wow, bro, you had way less cards than me.
You're just doing it for fun, bro.
Okay, gotcha.
You could have done Manir, no? Or you can't pick.
Yo, I thought it was the reverse button, bro. I didn't know.
Yo,
This
just
guy's
for that, bro.
This guy's trolling, bro.
Hey, go again, bro. Oh, fuck.
Oh fuck. Arjun's gonna win again, bro.
No way Arjun's about to win again.
Ah, fuck. Most slow guys.
Oh, I didn't have to pick up. I'm so dumb.
Oh no, bro.
Bruh. Bro.
That's why he
This is
swapped
the
hands, bro.
greatest-
That's why he swapped hands,
The
bro.
greatest blazing eight.
He saw you weren't doing shit with what you had, bro. He's like, yeah, let me make a name for this team.
Oh my goodness.
You got it, bro.
Bruh. I remember
Yo, what's with you and swapping hands, bro?
Yo, you keep solving hands, bro. Chill.
this. I gotta get a reverse it, bro.
How do I target someone with the +1?
Yeah, I think it hits everybody, bro.
It hits everybody?
I think so. I feel like it's hit everybody. Oh my god.
Yeah.
bro.
Way.
Get out of here.
Nah, I gotta win. We're gonna play until I win one, bro. I'm looking for it.
Cooking on.
What does 8 mean, bro?
Yo,
It's
pick
the
a thing.
number, bro. What are you talking about? 8, bro.
Oh, I get to call. Oh, my fault. I'm a little retarded.
This guy's tweaking, man. Are you serious right now?
I'm spam clicking my card, bro. Hopefully it'll place.
I'm doing the same shit, bro.
You're still watching it. Okay.
Bro, they're just gonna keep making me pick up cards.
Yo, pick green, pick green.
Don't pick green. Oh, I said not green.
My fault.
Yo, pick yellow, pick
Yo,
yellow.
pick a color I can play, bro.
Pick green, pick green.
Pick yellow, pick yellow.
This guy's gonna win, bro.
Yo, don't pick red.
Don't pick red. Remember, don't pick red.
Don't pick blue, don't pick blue.
Oh, what did I do? Wait, what
Did you just swap hands with him and you had one card, bro?
What did I do? What did I do?
Appreciate the big dog.
I know his last card is a red 10. I know his last card's a red 10. So
Yo, don't pick red, don't pick red.
literally don't do
I
that.
have 3 cards.
He has
now,
3
bro.
cards, bro. What are you talking about right now?
Yo, he
Yo,
has a
don't
red
give
10
it
though.
whatever.
He has a red 10.
Yo, maybe Surfle is onto something now, bro. I have more cards than him now.
Yo, he has a red 10, bro. Watch out, it's a 10.
Fuck this.
Oh, you played the red 10, bro. It's over now.
Fuck.
Oh, you
again, bro.
fucker, bro.
You bitch! You bitch! What the fuck, me, bro? No!
Yo, that's fine. I'll take that, bro.
No!
No.
Yo, green.
Purple's gonna win. Oh, never mind.
Not on my watch, bro.
Yo, guys, someone swap hands with me, please.
I'll dance with you. Yeah, place it. Arjun, place it.
I placed it.
Appreciate it.
Oh my god, bro. I'm never gonna win this shit.
This
You
up,
fuck crazy.
Oh my god, bro.
GG's, bro.
Someone needs to
Everyone
place a
stupid.
+1.
GG's, bro.
Fuck.
I got my one. I'm ready to leave.
No,
Alright, last one. Whoever wins this one wins it all, bro.
no, first three.
Alright, bet, alright, bet. What color
Pick
do you
red.
want, bro?
Is this a joke to you?
Are you serious right now?
I don't read it.
Yo, fuck you guys for changing the
Yo,
colors
how
like
many
every 3
times you gotta
seconds.
get these cards, bro? You guys have two cards left, bro. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, this is crazy.
Hey, go again, bro.
These guys can always play, bro. This is some bullshit, bro. The fuck? Oh my god.
Wait, okay, stat.
No.
No.
Those.
It's actually crazy 8's, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Damn.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I said.
I think you said the one who wins the next game.
Yeah, next game.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, like this
Like
one.
this one.
Yeah,
He
this-
means like this one right now.
Yeah,
Yo,
exactly.
this one. That's all I meant.
Game's already over. I don't know why you guys are still playing.
What do you mean?
Please, bro.
Oh, what did I do?
What the?
I did it again. I didn't mean to do that. I just no. Gungan's cards is sick.
What are you talking about? I don't have cards.
Whose cards did I give you?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's about to win, bro.
I'm not winning shit.
Pick red, pick red. Oh, you fucker.
Bro.
Yo, this is the. I meant this round. I meant this round.
Wait. What did you say?
I
What did you
meant.
say?
What did you say?
Whoever wins this
I
round
meant
is
this
the
one.
wins everything.
This one? Should we read this one?
Father, bro. Bro, fuck you.
Yo, Munir has blue. He has a blue. Do not let it be blue. Fuck, he made it blue.
Why are
Oh,
you
change the
blue?
color.
Blue
Oh my
again.
gosh.
It's blue again. It's blue again. Guys, you have to change it. Nice.
Oh,
Oh my
What?
fucking god, bro.
All right, that's 2 in a row. I think I win, right?
No, whoever wins this one, bro.
I know, I'm off.
This is the last one. This last one. Whoever wins this one actually wins every game.
Bro, I have no.
This game is like pure chance, right?
Oh, bro, obviously.
Oh, it's luck, bro.
Like, there's no skill involved, bro. I'm just clicking cards over.
Bro, we can't hear you, bro.
Whoever has the most cards wins, right?
No.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you, bro.
Dude, I don't even know what the fuck I did.
You swapped hands, bro.
Oh, shit.
Drop hand.
Swap pants with me?
Swap pants with me.
Whose hands did the swap with? Whoever's.
Okay. Brother.
Bro, why'd you change the fucking color, bro? I worked
Don't let it
hard
be
to
yellow.
change-
Do not let it. I mean, yeah, let it be. Yeah, let it yellow. Yeah. That's 3 in a row, guys. I think I win.
This guy. No, I'm done. Good night, Jeff.
Alright. God, this fuck ass activity, bro.
Lovers are having so much fun, bro.
No, I was just fucking clicking whatever I could, bro. Whatever option they let me click, I clicked it. That's all I could do, bro.
Yes.
Alright, now what?
Are we calling it?
This guy's typing gaming, bro.
It's midnight, bro. I think we're done.
Yeah, let's call it.
Alright.
Time to sleep.